And we all know people who have lots of misfortune that we ourselves would not want to have. And they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness. We are surprised. Why? Because they are grateful. So it is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy.
Welcome to the Mindset by Design podcast with your host and NLP expert, Andy Murphy, where you will learn the tips, tricks, and strategies he teaches his world-class clients to give you the skills to dominate any business.
What's going on, Mindset by Design crew, and welcome to episode 364. Hope you're amazing as always. I really do. Today, what's today's episode about? We're going down a different path. You know, I talk about a lot of persuasion, influence, peak performance, even branding, marketing. We're talking about what? We're talking about salespeople. We're talking about entrepreneurs. We're talking about sales pros. We're talking about all of these different industries and all about making money, right? But one of the things that's very important to me that I'm bringing in definitely to the Unfair Advantage Academy is life mastery. Do you know what I mean? There's a spiritual element to it. There's a heart-centered element to it. We can't just be always talking about science, right? Although we can, and kicking ass and making money and all the rest of it. But there's definitely another side of a life. Do you know what I mean? And we can talk about the science of frequency and vibration and harmonics and the universe, and we can talk about neuroscience, and we can talk about brain chemicals. We can go wherever you want. But after 20 years of doing this game all over the world, working with some of the best minds in the world and looking in thousands and thousands of people's businesses and brains and just the way they live life, I know for sure money doesn't make happiness, but happiness doesn't make money. And one isn't to do with the other. If you're happy and you make money, you're going to do awesome things. If you're unhappy and you make money, it doesn't mean it's going to make you happy. Probably not, right? And so they don't go hand in hand. So it's kind of like to enjoy the fulfillment of life, to enjoy every moment of the day, to enjoy what you're doing and not really care about the money, but build the project because you want to build the project. You want to help those people. You want to create that result. That's the trick, right? That's the golden egg. That's the thing that you should be striving towards. And if you do that, then you're going to impact loads of lives. Impacting loads of lives means you're going to earn lots of money. And I'm all about freedom. I've bounced around, as I say, for 20 years all over the world. And I am all about freedom, for sure. But I'm also about happiness. Happiness really comes from a peace of mind. It's a presence. It's an awareness. It's a heart-centeredness. And that sounds crazy in itself. Heart-centeredness, yes, we can go into the neuroscience behind the heart brain. We can talk about all that, but we're not talking about that right now. Although that's part of it, but we're not talking about that right now. And that's why I've brought in a little clip today. It's really, really cool, to be honest. I'm going to throw my 2 cents worth in over this, but the clip it's a TEDx talk. Actually, it's not a TEDx talk. It's a TED talk, and it's an old one from 2013. It's got over 3 million views. It's epic. And it's by Brother David Steindl-Rast, which, just because of that name, right? Steindl-Rast, that's a badass name. And obviously he's a monk and he's kind of cool. He's some old dude and he's really cool. And again, this is just looking at different perspectives on life. And that's really what we're here to do in life. We're here to experience. We're here to enrich. We're here to see what we like, we don't like, experience every part of the world. And what's crazy is we're talking about money. We're talking about all this in the entrepreneur world. But what's wild is, you've got wars going on. You've got starving people, homeless people. You've got psychologically damaged people. You've got post-traumatic stress disorder from trauma and war, and it goes on, right? And it's heartbreaking, And the world's so focused on money. And I love money. Money's awesome. I'm a big fan, I like to earn lots of money and travel the world and do what I want. But it doesn't really mean anything, does it? Do you know what I mean? Once you've got a certain level of money coming in, you can live however you want. You've got 20K coming in every single month, guaranteed, no matter what. You can basically do what you want. Now, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 a month, game on, right? But the truth is, even 10 grand, 5 grand. Think about this. If your expenses are nothing, you keep your overheads down to nothing, you're not blinging, and say you could get a place for $1,000 a month, right? Just let's say $1,000 to live your life. So that's 2 grand. And then plus your food, so that's 3 grand, right? So then you've still got 2 grand to play with. And that's coming in every single month. Every single month for the rest of your life. And those are your overheads. How calm would you be? And you didn't want to strive for Lamborghinis and private jets, and you were just living your life. But if you just had those expenses and you still had $2,000 to play with, you could go out for meals basically every day, right? You could travel. You couldn't live a luxury life, but you could live a nice, happy life. And so there's no rules to this life. There's no rules to this game. And it's the only rules are the things that are put onto us through societal structure that we then fall into, and our brain thinks that is how we're supposed to do life. But the truth is, no, fuck that, right? No one can tell you how to do your life. It's yours. Do what you want, right? Just be happy and make as many people along this journey as you can happy, right? So it's funny me even saying this, because this is kind of like the secret sauce to when I work with entrepreneurs. Now, I make people lots of money, for sure, right? We switch on creativity. We look at income streams. I take traders or entrepreneurs from 100 grand a year to $1 million plus. This is all the things I do. But ultimately, I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be grateful. I just want you to live an amazing life that you want to live. And that doesn't come from external things. It just doesn't, man. It doesn't. I've lived in the big houses. I've had the cars. I've lived in luxury. And I've been happy and I've been sad. I know they are not connected. And so it's all about your internal world. It's all about the emotions inside of you. It's all about you having peace of mind, in alignment, living your truth. And this might sound way woo-woo, and it is kind of whatever, right? But we are woo-woo people as human beings. We just sometimes forget this. If we look back to the start of humankind, there's always been a spiritual element. We can go to shamanism, right? We can go to tribes. We can go to all of these things, but there was always a spiritual or certain energy that bonded people. And that's why it's like we are a collective consciousness as a human species. We've just got fragmented. We just got split up, and then we got taught, power and money and ego and all of these things. Now, we can use ego for many different things, right? We can use ego to achieve, to win gold medals, to make millions of dollars, to hurt people. This is what ego can do. But the truth is, ego will never give you peace of mind. It will always ask you, what now, what's next, remember the past, remember the future, remember this, look at this person, look what they've got, look at this, look at that, look at this. It's never going to give you peace of mind. And when you come into your heart, that's what you want. You want to be able to breathe and be at peace. You want to be able to walk out your door in safety. You want to make sure that your family's safe and well and healthy. Because isn't it interesting, right? We're going along and all these stresses and strains that we have. And all of the things that we're trying and pushing to achieve. And then someone gets sick in our family. Or a loved one, something happens to. And all what we thought was important, it just goes away. It just disappears. And then suddenly our values or our priorities change, which means our focus change. And all the things that were so stressful, so important go away. Because suddenly we have to look after that person. Or reality slaps the crap out of us in the face. And then we go, oh, what I was doing before didn't even make me happy anyway. I just thought I had to do that. Does that make sense? And so when we can look at a world from a different perspective, everything changes. Because the ultimate thing is I was talking to a trader yesterday. It's come on as a new client. And I promise you I'll take him from a couple of hundred to like high six figures plus, like in 12 months. I know I will, right? And when we chunk down, or chunk up, I should say, to what he ultimately wants, he wants freedom. You know what I mean? Wants to enjoy his life. You know what I mean? Wants to invest in businesses. Wants to be able to have that passive residual income coming in. And that's what's important. And that's why the Unfair Advantage Academy has been set up, right? There's going to be a part of that. It's the Unfair Freedom Business School. That's what it's going to be. Because I think it's so important. And so that's what today's episode's about, right? I was going on a bit of a rant there, but I hope that helped. Hope that helped. And I probably could just end the podcast there. Do you know what I mean? It's done. But we're going to go and listen to Mr. Brother. What was his name again? Steindl-Rast. We're going to go and listen to Mr. Steindl-Rast. He's a badass, man. He's a badass. So yeah, let's do that. But before we do that, make sure that you're connecting with me somewhere. Yeah, man, you want to make sure that you're connecting with me on Instagram, Andy Murphy Mindset. Make sure you're connected with me on Facebook, in the Facebook group, Andy Murphy Mindset. Where else? LinkedIn. Make sure you're connecting with me there, or go to andymurphy.online. Yes, the new site is done. It's done. I'm just getting ready to put it out, and then we're going to launch the Unfair Advantage. You've got a badass video series that you're going to absolutely love, and you can see if the Unfair Advantage is for you. But for now, jump over to andymurphy.online, join the mailing list, and download a badass book. It's just badass. You can get it. It's going to change your life. It's epic. You can get that for free, so you might as well go there while it's available, because it's not going to be in 2 weeks. And what else? Yeah, just connect with me. That's it. If you want to chat about how to turn your business onto nitro rocket fuel, if you want to increase your sales, if you want to learn about how to double your income, if you want to learn how to create freedom, and you want to work with me, or you want to jump into the academy or anything else, then hey, there's an application form there. Fill it in. Let's have a chat. So, should we do this? Awesome. Let's do this. So I will see you at the end of the show, and enjoy. Of course, I'm going to be there too, but enjoy Mr. Steindl-Rast.
There's something you know about me, something very personal. And there's something I know about every one of you that's very central to your concerns. There's something that we know about everyone we meet anywhere in the world on the street that is the very mainspring of whatever they do and whatever they put up with. And that is that all of us want to be happy. In this we are all together. How we imagine our happiness, that differs from one another. But it's already a lot that we have all in common, that we want to be happy. Now, my topic is gratefulness. How is the connection between happiness and gratefulness? Many people would say, well, that's very easy. When you are happy, you are grateful. But think again. Is it really the happy people that are grateful? We all know quite a number of people who have everything that it would take to be happy, and they are not happy because they want something else, or they want more of the same. And we all know people who have lots of misfortune that we ourselves would not want to have. And they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness. We are surprised. Why? Because they are grateful. So it is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. If you think it's happiness that makes you grateful, think again. It's gratefulness that makes you happy. Now, we can ask, what really do we mean by gratefulness? And how does it work? I appeal to your own experience. We all know from experience how it goes. We experience something that's valuable to us. Something's given to us that's valuable to us. And it's really given. These two things have to come together. It has to be something valuable, and it's a real gift. You haven't bought it, you haven't earned it, you haven't traded it in, you haven't worked for it, it's just given to you. And when these two things come together, something that's really valuable to me, and I realize it's freely given, then gratefulness spontaneously rises in my heart, happiness spontaneously rises in my heart. That's how gratefulness happens. Now, the key to all this is that we can not only experience this once in a while, we can not only have grateful experiences, we can be people who live gratefully. Grateful living, that is the thing. And how can we live gratefully? By experiencing, by becoming aware that every moment is a given moment, as we say. It's a gift. You haven't earned it, you haven't brought it about in any way, you have no way of assuring that there will be another moment given to you. And yet, that's the most valuable thing that can ever be given to us. This moment with all the opportunity that it contains. If we didn't have this present moment, we wouldn't have any opportunity to do anything or experience anything. And this moment is a gift. It's a given moment, as we say.
Let me jump in there, crew. Do you like him already, right? He's cool. He's cool. But really, I love what he's talking about, because definitely there's different ways to talk about this, right? In the moment, if we talk about quantum physics, what they talk about is there is only this moment before we can access superpositioning, which pulls in different possibilities, right? So that's this moment. We talk about being present or mindfulness, and mindfulness is being aware, so aware consciously of what you're doing in every moment that you're not running an unconscious program, right? So there's many ways that we can describe presence or the moment. But what I love about being an entrepreneur is that that's all we need, is a moment. We just need a new idea, a new perspective, a new angle, a new emotion, a new mentor that changes our view over something and therefore changes our focus. And that's when a new possibility, a new idea, a new solution just appears like magic, right? And that's all we need as an entrepreneur to keep driving forwards, to keep hustling, whatever you want to call it, right? You could be in the darkest space ever, and we've all been there, right? I've been through nervous breakdown, bankruptcy back in the day, putting together a resort, and all I needed was a glimmer of light, a new idea, a new path. And as soon as I found that, I was off again, right? I was not chasing is the wrong word, but building, driving, becoming that version of me who I knew I had to be to achieve the outcome that I saw in my mind and my head. And when we can understand that every moment to moment, we have the ability to engage our imagination, and that imagination creates a new possibility, and that new possibility creates action, right? That's the difference. So when he talks about moment to moment creating happiness, well, it's absolutely true. And from the way I'm explaining it, from the way I did explain it, but also in the moment, let me ask you this question. Right, and you might not understand it, but then you're gonna remember this, and you'll be playing around with this probably the rest of the day, the week, the month, the year, maybe. But in this moment, right here, right now, is everything perfect? And your brain, your ego, you go, no, I've got to do this, got to do that. Look at the future, look at the past, look at the future, look at the past. No. Doesn't matter what the F is going on. In this moment, right here, right now, you listening to the sound of my voice, you sitting there thinking the things that you're thinking, in this moment, right here, right now, is everything perfect? The answer is always yes. It's only when we put our minds out of this moment that, guess what? Things aren't perfect. So let's jump back in.
Now we say the gift within this gift is really the opportunity. What you're really grateful for is the opportunity, not the thing that is given to you, because if that thing were somewhere else and you didn't have the opportunity to enjoy it, to do something with it, you wouldn't be grateful for it. Opportunity is the gift within every gift. And we have this saying, opportunity knocks only once. Well, think again. Every moment is a new gift, over and over again. And if you miss the opportunity of this moment, another moment is given to us, and another moment. We can avail ourselves of this opportunity, or we can miss it. And if we avail ourselves of the opportunity, it is the key to happiness. We hold the master key to our happiness in our own hands. Moment by moment, we can be grateful for this gift. Does that mean that we can be grateful for everything? Certainly not. We cannot be grateful for violence, for war, for oppression, for exploitation. On the personal level, we cannot be grateful for the loss of a friend, for unfaithfulness, for bereavement.
So let me jump in there, crew. Mr. Steindl-Rast, I disagree with you, sir. I disagree with you, but I also agree with you. Let's talk about that, right? If light and dark isn't really light and dark, it's negative and positive, sure, but if you understand that dark isn't really bad and good isn't really good, it's just growth. So if the world has to change, let's look at it from a macro scale, right? If the world has to change, then how does change happen? Yeah, chaos, right? Confusion and chaos leads to clarity. So how can somebody or a society or a country or anything learn and grow if everything stays the same. So if I know in my past, right, what creates momentum propels you towards the light or propels you to take a different path or grow and expand, or is the darkness, it's the pain, right? It's where the lessons come from. It's where the growth comes from. If everything was smooth and easy, man, you wouldn't grow the same way. So when I look back on the past at all the mistakes that I've made and the darkest of the darkest moments in my life, I'm really grateful for them, because that enabled me to see a different way, a different perspective, a different view on life, and do what? Well, change, evolve, get better. Right? So I know that it's the same with business, right? You could make 1,000 mistakes. Business partners could rip you off. They have with me, right? People let you down. They've done it a lot with me, right? But guess what that enabled me to do? Learn the lessons so I can grow. And that's all we're here to do. Business is a reflection of who you are. Life is a reflection of who you are inside. So if we're the same inside, then we can't change. So on a macro level, at the highest level, looking at Earth cannot change. Society cannot change without the chaos. With all the shit that's gone on in the last few years, right? People have looked at life a different way. There's so many people that are happier now than they've ever been. Why? Because they found out what they were doing before was BS. What they found out was that they're just happy living a simple life. Or the income was bad and then they saw an opportunity over the last couple of years and then suddenly it's fantastic for their family, right? With what's going on even in Russia and the wars, right? There's got to be good that comes out of it eventually. What? The world sees a different way. It sees a different perspective. And you might go, well, what happens about World War III or all the people that are dying? It sucks. It's horrific. It's horrific. Right? And I'm sorry for every single person that's going through anything. But guess what? On a macro, not micro, macro level, what has to happen? Well, trade agreements have to change. People become more enlightened and aware of the BS media, the bullshit propaganda, the darkness of what's happening, right? In the world, in all these societies. The internet and everything brings all this to the surface so people are more aware, so eventually change can happen. So that's my opinion. So Steindl-Rast, I have to disagree on that one, but hey, still love you, mate.
But I didn't say we can be grateful for everything. I said we can be grateful in every given moment for the opportunity. And even when we are confronted with something that is terribly difficult, we can rise to this occasion and respond to the opportunity that is given to us.
So, should have listened to the next bit, shouldn't I? Brother Steindl-Rast. Well, I agree with you now, 100%, mate.
It isn't as bad as it might seem. Actually, when you look at it and experience it, you find that most of the time what is given to us is opportunity to enjoy. And we only miss it because we are rushing through life and we are not stopping to see the opportunity. But once in a while, something very difficult is given to us. And when this difficult thing occurs to us, it's a challenge to rise to that opportunity. And we can rise to it by learning something, which is sometimes painful. Learning patience, for instance. We have been told that the road to peace is not a sprint, but is more like a marathon. That takes patience. That's difficult. It may be to stand up for your opinion, to stand up for your conviction. That's an opportunity that is given to us. To learn, to suffer, to stand up. All these opportunities are given to us. But they are opportunities, and those who avail themselves of those opportunities are the ones that we admire. They make something out of life. And those who fail get another opportunity. We always get another opportunity. That's the wonderful richness of life. So how can we find a method that will harness this? How can each one of us find a method for living gratefully, not just once in a while being grateful, but moment by moment to be grateful? How can we do it? It's a very simple method. It's so simple that it's actually what we were told as children when we learned to cross the street. Stop, look, go. That's all. But how often do we stop? We rush through life. We don't stop. We miss the opportunity because we don't stop. We have to stop, we have to get quiet, and we have to build stop signs into our lives. When I was in Africa some years ago and then came back, I noticed water. In Africa, where I was, I didn't have drinkable water. Every time I turned on the faucet, I was overwhelmed. Every time I clicked on the light, I was so grateful. It made me so happy. But after a while, this wears off. So I put little stickers on the light switch and on the water faucet, and every time I turned on, water. So you leave it up to your own imagination. You can find whatever works best for you, but you need stop signs in your life. And when you stop, then the next thing is to look. You look, you open your eyes, you open your ears, you open your nose, you open all your senses for this wonderful richness that is given to us. If there's no end to it, that is what life is all about, to enjoy what is given to us. But then we can also open our hearts for the opportunities also to help others, to make others happy, because nothing makes us more happy than when all of us are happy. And when we open our hearts to the opportunities invite us to do something. And that is the third. Stop, look, and then go, and really do something. And what we can do is whatever life offers to you in that present moment, mostly it's the opportunity, enjoy.
So loving Brother Steindl-Rast. It's absolutely the truth, right? It's funny when we get to, like I was just talking about with what's happened over the past couple of years and people making massive changes in their life to be able to really get to the truth of what makes them happy. Because at the end of the day, if you're living in big mansions and you're working 80 hours a week and you're stressed out and got no family bond, or your friendships are all been destroyed and everyone's just talking about power, and it's not what you really want. It's what you think you want. It's what society dictates, or you get caught up in an income stream that you don't want. You can change it, man. You can change your life in any moment, right? But the ultimate thing is, I just saw a post actually. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up right now on my, I put it on Instagram, put Instagram stories. So I'm going to pull it up right now because it was really interesting. And where are we? Okay. Yes, DM to get started. Not that one. Jupiter CEO quits $68 billion firm to sit on the beach and do nothing. That's from Bloomberg. Jupiter CEO quits $68 billion firm to sit on the beach and do nothing. What do you think he knows? Do you think he knows a couple of things about business? Do you think he knows a couple of things about making money? Yeah, he does. Now, I'm not saying that's to do with everybody should be doing that. I ain't saying that because society wouldn't move forwards. Hey, but maybe it's not supposed to. But it is. It's moving forward, so we might as well play the game, right? But what is the truth? He sat down one day and went, what am I doing? I'm stressed out to the max. I'm mind reading this, but I'm mind reading it, you know. But stressed out to the max. I'm working my ass off. My health's being affected. I've gotten my family I'm not even seeing. What am I doing? I can just do nothing for the rest of my life, or whatever I want for the rest of my life, and enjoy my life. And if everybody did that, then society and money wouldn't move forwards. Good. Maybe that is a good thing, right? It's even like with this recession that we're allegedly going through. I just see things more expensive. Everyone just keeps going. The recession's a strange one for me. But I think it's a good thing, because people who are highly leveraged and probably stressing out about money and all the things that they had on finance, whether it's real estate, investments, whatever it is, right? Then those things are probably going to get taken away from them. Or they're going to have a real different perspective on what the value of those things are. And the things have to change, right? Chaos and confusion leads to clarity. So what's the truth in your life right now?
Sometimes it's something more difficult, but whatever it is, if we take this opportunity, go with it. We are creative. Those are the creative people. And that little stop, look, go is such a potent seed that it can revolutionize our world. Because we are at the present moment in the middle of a change of consciousness. And you will be surprised I'm always surprised when I hear how many times this word gratefulness and gratitude comes up. Everywhere you find it, a grateful airline, a restaurant gratefulness, a cafe gratefulness, a wine that is gratefulness. Yes, I've even come across a toilet paper that's brand is called thank you. There is a wave of gratefulness because people are becoming aware how important this is and how this can change our world. It can change our world in immensely important ways. Because if you're grateful, you're not fearful. And if you're not fearful, you're not violent. If you're grateful, you act out of a sense of enough and not of a sense of scarcity, and you're willing to share. If you're grateful, you are enjoying the differences between people, and you are respectful to everybody. And that changes this power pyramid under which we live. And it doesn't make for equality, but it makes for equal respect, and that is the important thing. The future of the world will be a network, not a pyramid turned upside down. The revolution of which I'm speaking is a non-violent revolution, and it's so revolutionary that it even revolutionizes the very concept of a revolution. Because the normal revolution is one where the power pyramid is turned upside down, and those who were on the bottom are now on the top and are doing exactly the same thing that the ones did before. What we need is a networking of smaller and smaller groups who know one another, who interact with one another, and that is a grateful world. A grateful world is a world of joyful people. Grateful people are joyful people. And joyful people, the more and more joyful people there are, the more and more we'll have a joyful world.
He just said something really profound there. I've not heard someone say that before, but he's absolutely right. And especially as we're going through this change in our world, and that's really what's happening, right? The younger generation that's coming through does not want what we wanted before. It really doesn't. And you have a massive wave, I wouldn't say majority, but massive wave coming through of people who value freedom rather than assets. Or I should say non-income producing assets, right? Like debt. And so, but not good debt, right? Not debt that's going to produce you income. Debt that's going to devalue. So car leases and nonsense like that, right? Shiny shit. So what he's talking about, rather than there being a revolution and overtaking the power at the top, the way to do this is the internet, right? It's distribute and have communication in smaller groups, or having distribution of information just spreading wide rather than going up or down. That That's genius, man. That's absolutely genius, because that's what's happening. That's what the Unfair Advantage Academy is about. That's what this podcast is about. That's why you're listening to this. You're looking for information to spread more information, right? Because that's what I'm all about, is creating ripples of energy, ripples of knowledge, ripples of power. Not bad power, good power. Power versus force, right? So power is a beautiful word. It's just misunderstood because it doesn't come from ego unless it comes from ego. So power means your personal power. Power means knowledge. Power means the ability to create your own media empire on social media and distribute your talents, right? That's power. It's never been here before. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, ever in the history of time, it's not been, we've not been able to do this. And now we can. So I love this dude. He's a good guy, right? Steindl-Rast, Brother Steindl-Rast.
We have a network for grateful living, and it has mushroomed. We couldn't understand it why it mushroomed. We have an opportunity for people to light a candle for when they are grateful for something. And there have been 15 million candles lit in 1 decade. People are becoming aware that a grateful world is a happy world. And we all have the opportunity, very simple, stop, look, go, to transform the world, to make it a happy place. And that is what I hope for us. And if this has contributed a little to making you want to do the same, stop, look, go. Thank you.
So crew, there we go. The end of episode 364. Hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different. We went down different perspectives today. But again, it's all about having a complete life. It's all about having an unfair advantage. And this is one of the ways, right? We got to make ourselves, our inner world, amazing. We've got to be able to learn to make our outer world amazing. We've got to learn how to make our business, to create freedom, amazing. This is the trick. This is not just a trick. This is how it has to be, man, right? Inside out, outside to business. It's just what it is. And if you love this episode, please, please, please go and share it, go and rate it, go and review it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Do that now. Do that now. And speaking of doing it now, don't know when you listen to this, right? You could be listening to this way into the future. But I just want you to find me. Find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Andy Murphy Mindset. Click on that link. Go to the show notes. Got a Linktree link there. It's got loads of different things. Unfair Advantage Academy is launching 100% in the next week or two. I'm pumped about it. I'm pumped about it for sure. I really, really am. More pumped about this than I think I have been in any product or service in a long, long time, maybe like 10 years. So this is special, man. This is special. And you're going to want to be a part of our community. So what else? What else? Well, keep kicking ass. Have an amazing week. Much, much love. And until the next time, oh yeah, why don't you smile for me?
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Mindset by Design podcast with your host and NLP expert, Andy Murphy. We'll catch you next time.